Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Happy Bookmas Day 10. In today's video, I am going to be reading books on my Kindle for the whole week. I got this Kindle a couple months ago. If you didn't see my Kindle unboxing video, I'll link it up in the cards. I am obsessed with it. I feel like now if I can't get a book on my Kindle, I don't want to read it. Like every book I read, I want to have it available on my Kindle too. It's so nice to read books on my Kindle because they go by so much faster. So today's video, I'm going to be reading only Kindle Unlimited books for the week. Before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the last few days of Bookmas, and leave me a comment letting me know what you would recommend reading on Kindle Unlimited. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Last week I did a video where I was reading only Christmas books, but there are some Christmas books on here that I want to read, so I think we'll sprinkle some of those in. So right now on my radar, I've got Before the Coffee Gets Cold. That's my book club book for the month, and that I have to finish by Thursday, so that's probably the first book I'll read. I'm also interested in reading Snowed In by Catherine Walsh because I really loved holiday romance. I read that one last week. And then also possibly How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn, because those are Christmassy reads I'm interested in. I also would love to read The Rose Code. That is on my December TBR, and that's like a historical fiction book. And then after that, we'll kind of see what mood I'm in. I would love to read a fantasy, but that kind of involves me starting a new fantasy series. What else? I don't want to get into something super long just because I'm in the mood to read shorter books right now, and I'm only going to be filming this for a week. So I've got some mystery, I've got some fantasy, I've got some historical fiction downloaded on here. I have one romance, but I don't know if I'll read a romance if I'm going to be reading those Christmassy books because those are kind of romances. That's where we're starting right now. I will be reading Before the Coffee Gets Cold today. I'm about a chapter in. It says 8%. So we'll hopefully be able to finish this today or tomorrow because I've got to finish it before Thursday and I would like to get to another book. So those are the plans for now. I'm about to leave for work and I will talk to you guys later tonight. Hi friends, happy Tuesday. I have not talked in a while. I've been busy, but I wanted to come on here and give you guys an update on where I'm at in Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I haven't had as much time to read as I've expected. Like usually my lunch breaks I get a full hour, but I've had like errands to run, whatever. But this is a short book, so I thought I would be getting through it quickly. Right now I'm on chapter 3. There are only 4 chapters. It says I have an hour and a half left in the book, so I've listened to it a little bit of the last chapter, and I am gonna read probably this before bed and listen to it in the morning while I'm doing my craft projects. What I came on here to say was I'm really enjoying this. The writing is really beautiful. The story is really interesting. Like basically the concept is this cafe has this special seat you can sit in where you can travel back in time, but you can only go back in time in the cafe and you have to stay in that seat the whole time. You can only see people that have visited the cafe before, and you're only able to stay in the past until your coffee gets cold, and you have to drink your whole coffee. Those are all the rules, and so each chapter is about a different person, but they all sort of follow the same like people that work at the cafe, and it's just a very cozy read. It's a perfect read for this time of year. I'm excited to talk about it at book club, but the last story, which was chapter 2, is about a couple where the husband has Alzheimer's and the wife ends up going back in the past to see him, and I won't spoil anything, but the end of that chapter I was just crying while I was brushing my teeth, and then I went to explain it to Elijah because it was making me really sad, and then I started crying again, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I personally don't have anybody in my family that I knew with Alzheimer's. Like, I don't have any close personal relationships with anybody with Alzheimer's, but obviously you hear lots of stories about it. But mainly what I hear from people I know is people dealing with their parents. I've never heard about people dealing with their partners forgetting who they are, and like literally I could cry right now. Like, that is so scary and so sad to think about. And anyway, that last chapter was just so beautiful, but the next chapter is called The Sisters, so I think I will really enjoy this one. I love things about sisters. But that's the story for now. Up on the docket next, I have The Rose Code by Kate Quinn. I have this book physically because I bought it before I got my Kindle, but then saw that it was on Kindle Unlimited, so I'll probably be reading it mostly on my Kindle. And I just checked the audiobook out on Libby, so I will hopefully get to listen to this at work over the next couple of days, and as I'm doing my sewing projects and stuff at home, like I keep saying. I'm excited about this one because so far this month I have read exclusively Christmas books and then this book that I'm reading right now. So I'm excited to read a full-length fiction novel. This is a historical fiction book and I'm super excited about this one. Anyway, that's what's next. This is what I've got now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Hi friends, happy Wednesday. I am about to head to work, but I read a little bit more of this book last night. This chapter is about somebody who came from the future and is in present day, but it's her past. So they're trying to figure out who she is and why she's visiting. I fell asleep as I was reading it, so I'm gonna have to go a few pages back, but I have now an hour and 20 minutes left of the book, so I should finish it today. I think I will use my Spotify hours and listen to it this morning. I don't know if I'm getting a lunch break to read today because we have this like company meeting thing happening at 3, so I'm not really sure what the vibe is going to be there, but we'll finish this book today for sure because I have book club tomorrow. Then I'm hoping to start The Rose Code later today. So that's the little update for now. Not a lot changed since last night, but just wanted to come on here and say hey before I left for work. And I will see you guys tonight. Hi friends, I'm coming to you from the same spot I talked to you this morning, but it is now nighttime, and I wanted to talk to you about Before the Coffee Gets Cold because I finished it today on my lunch break. I haven't quite decided on a rating yet, but I think it's in like the 4.25, 4.5. I'll put up on the screen when I decide. But I really, really enjoyed it. It was a super cozy book, very sweet. Honestly, half of the chapters had me crying at the end. And I'm curious about what the rest of the books in the series are about because I think that we will just follow more people going to this cafe and traveling back in time. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. I'm excited to talk about it with my book club tomorrow. And now I'm going to start The Rose Code. I'm gonna sit and read for like 15 minutes and then I'm gonna pop on the audiobook and go and do some of my sewing projects that I have to finish before Christmas. So that's the plan for the evening. But yeah, I will talk to you guys once I get into this one a little bit and I can explain what's going on. Hi guys, it's about 10 o'clock now. I am on chapter 14 of my book. I've just been up here sewing and I gotta go get ready for bed, but I'm totally enjoying this book. I love historical fiction. If you've seen my videos over the past few months, you would know that I've gotten back into reading more historical fiction recently, and this story is about 3 women in World War II who were code breakers in England, and right now they've like just arrived to the place. They're learning what they're doing. They're in their like first positions, and I think they're gonna probably end up being more impactful than in the roles they are right now, but it's really interesting to see these stories of women in war, and we like don't hear as many stories about World War II that aren't just like about the soldiers that were fighting. At least I don't, so I'm trying to seek them out, and so far this book is super interesting, and the characters, the three women, are definitely interesting characters. Osla and Mab are both super spunky and I love them, and I'm excited to see Beth grow into herself. She's a little bit more meek and they're trying to like help her stand up to her mom, and yeah, it's just super cool. They all are like doing this super high security job, but they can't like tell anybody what they're doing. And anyway, it's very interesting, so I'm really enjoying it so far. But that is my update for tonight. I'm going to probably read a little bit on my Kindle before I fall asleep, and I will talk to you guys later tomorrow night. Hi friends, I can't talk for long because I gotta go leave for work, but happy Friday. I didn't talk to you at all yesterday because I had swim practice in the morning and work and then book club after work, and then I came home and it was like 8 o'clock and I was wiped because I woke up really early. But I am over 50% of the way through the Rose Code and I am loving it. I read a little bit this morning. I was just gonna read like one chapter to get to where I was at the end of the chapter and then I could start listening to the audiobook, but then something happened and I was like, oh my god, I have to keep reading. And I love on the Kindle how it tells you like 30 minutes left in the chapter or whatever, especially if it's a book that's a little bit shorter chapters. So I'm like, oh, I could just read another chapter. I could just read another chapter. And then I've read like 10 chapters and did not have breakfast yet this morning, but you know what? This book is so good. So, and don't worry, I'm bringing breakfast with me to work. So I'm now 60% of the way through. I'm loving it. I love the characters. I love their little like romance subplots too. If you're looking to get into historical fiction and you're more of a romance girly, this one has some cute little romance side plots. And it's interesting because it's a World War II story, but up until this point it has felt kind of like positive and upbeat for a World War II story, and then what just happened was like very intense. So it's definitely taken a turn. I knew that that was going to happen given the time period, but yeah, I'm very sad for one of the characters for what just happened. So I'm interested to see how she deals with that, because we're getting them in the past, and then every so often they have a chapter that like flashes to 1947, like to a future timeline post-war. So that is my update for now. I've got work all day today, like every day, and then I have maybe some things tonight, but I'm hoping to listen to the book at work today, and then tonight do some sewing projects and listen as well. I kind of want to finish it today. I don't know, I probably can, because I have less left than I read yesterday. So crossing our fingers we can finish this book, because I'm loving it and I want to know what happens. All right, I gotta go to work, but I will talk to you guys tonight. Hi friends, happy Friday. Oh, I already talked to you this morning. Hello again. I'm here with an update. I haven't finished the book yet, but I'm getting through it. Let me actually check on my Libby how far into the audiobook I am. I think I'm further. Oh yeah, I'm for sure further in than that. Okay, I'm on chapter 56. I have this much of the book left and I am loving it. I did not have as much time at work today to listen. Honestly, my brain was moving so slow today that if I had added the audiobook, it wouldn't have been able to focus on anything else. And obviously I had to do my work. So we had to put that aside for today. I probably listened to maybe like an hour or two of the book today, but I've got 150-ish pages left. And I'm going over to a friend's house tonight to celebrate her birthday. But before I leave, I'm gonna read a little bit because I just am so like engrossed in this book. I'm loving it so much. I just love the characters. I love the story. It's just super interesting to read. I love historical fiction, but I love reading historical fiction books about things that I don't know about, because it's like learning but in a fun way, because it's a fictional story, but this is based on real people. So I'm excited when I'm done to like do a little deep dive on all these people to see like who they were based off of. I searched one of the characters up because one of the characters was dating Prince Philip, and the back and forth timelines go between like when she was younger and actually dating him, and then the other timeline is following like the lead up to the royal wedding between Philip and Elizabeth. So I was like looking up this morning like the royal family tree, because they are cousins. I think they're like third or fourth cousins, which I didn't know because I don't know a lot about the royal family. Anyway, I digress. But that's where I'm at in the book. Loving it. Excited to finish it. There's a teeny tiny chance I finish it tonight, but probably not, because I've got to go to bed kind of early so I can wake up and go to the pool, but I'll definitely finish it tomorrow morning. So we'll definitely have time to start another book in this video. Maybe I'll pick a shorter one so I can finish 3 books, but that's all from me right now, and I will talk to you guys when I'm done with my book. Hi guys, I have finished The Rose Code. If you hear that noise in the background, that's my dishwasher. I loved this book. I'm rating it 5 stars. It was so good, and I expected it to be good, but I didn't know that I would love it as much as I did. And at the very end, there's this great chapter about all of the characters in the book and who they were based on in real life. One of them was a real person, but she changed her last name, and then some of them were like combinations of a couple real people or like a representation of a type of person that was in this world. And it was just so well done. I love historical fiction authors. I think they're so talented, and I think it's so cool to take something real and turn it into a fiction story, but maintain so much of the facts and real stuff that happened in the book. And I just love historical fiction so much. So I'm so excited to read more of her books because she's written quite a few books, and I think I may have found a new favorite author. But that is my review on The Rose Code. I ended up listening to a lot of it. If you like listening to British audiobook narrators, the narrator for this one, her voice is lovely. Definitely would recommend. If you like Kristen Hanna, you would like her writing. It's very similar, and I loved it. And now I want to watch a movie about World War II code breaking because that was very interesting to me. So anyway, now I would like to pick one more book to read. It is Saturday. I have a couple more days of this vlog, today and tomorrow, but I have a lot of crafts that I'm going to be doing, so I have a lot of audiobook time, and I have some time I'm going to be relaxing over the next couple of days that I'll be able to read physically too. So I don't want to pick a super long book, but let's think. We did a little short sci-fi, we did a historical fiction book. I kind of want to read something I can get the audiobook for. So I'm gonna do a little bit of looking, and I will talk to you guys when I have decided which book I'm gonna be reading next. Hi friends, it's Sunday now. I haven't picked up the camera since yesterday. It's a little afternoon, and like I said yesterday, I was trying to spend some time figuring out what book to read next because this video is gonna be done after today. So I looked through the whole Kindle Unlimited library, and I definitely have books on there that I want to read, but none that were like short enough that I could realistically read in a couple days. And I ended up adding a few to my library. One is 1984 by George Orwell, which is a classic, which I want to read, and they also just did an Audible audio drama version of it with Andrew Garfield and Cynthia Erivo. Anyway, I was gonna read 1984, and then I was like, oh, I could listen to the audiobook because it wasn't that long. But now the audio drama version that Audible just released recently, I don't think has every word of the book. Like, you know how most audiobooks, it's like word for word what the book is? Because this one's an audio drama, I don't think, okay, just not the full length of the book. Like, the book is 400 pages on my Kindle, but the audiobook is only like 2.5 hours, which doesn't add up. So I'm gonna look into that a little more, but I'm not gonna read that one in this video. I also downloaded this book by Kate Quinn called Signal Moon, which is on Kindle Unlimited and in the Audible Plus catalog, and it seems like, I don't want to say it's a spin-off of The Rose Code, but it's set in the same time period. It's also about Bletchley Park, and it's a short story that's like an Amazon original, whatever. So I thought that that would be fun. It's only like 60 pages, and I can listen to the audiobook. So that's the book we're gonna end this video with. I started reading it last night, and it was so funny because I put both 1984 and this book on my Kindle at the same time, and I opened it up thinking I was reading Signal Moon, and then I started reading, and it said something about Big Brother, which I know is in 1984. I don't really know much else about that book, and I was like, that's weird that they have this in this and 1984. And then I read a couple more pages, and I was like looking at how long was left in the book, and then I was like, oh, it's because I'm reading 1984. So anyway, I only read a little bit last night. I'm gonna start from the beginning because I don't remember anything I read last night. Also, last night we watched The Imitation Game. I asked Elijah yesterday, I was like, there's definitely a movie about code breakers during World War II, right? That was like a pretty popular movie, and I hadn't seen it, and it was so fun to watch like a different side of the story of Bletchley Park after having just read that book about it. So anyway, loved that. Would recommend that movie for sure if you haven't seen it, but I am on a real historical fiction kick right now. So that is a long-winded way to say I'm gonna read Signal Moon, I'm going to do my sewing projects upstairs, and I will talk to you guys when I'm done. I don't think it's really gonna be one that I like update you in between, so I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Hi guys, I promise I have moved since I've last talked to you, but I am back in the same spot to tell you about the book I just finished and end off this video. I just finished listening to Signal Moon. It was probably like an hour, maybe 45 minutes. I was just doing some sewing projects upstairs, and it was basically a story about this girl named Lily who worked at one of the transmission centers during World War II that was intercepting radio transmissions from the Germans, and she gets this transmission and it's like this bombing of this ship, like this horrible thing she's like listening to happen over the radio, and then she finds out what the date is and it's in the future. And so the story is her trying to get in touch with the person that sent the radio transmission and basically try to save his life. And it was very interesting. It was very quick. If you want a little quick historical fiction novella, like I said, it's on Kindle Unlimited. It's also in the Audible Plus catalog. It was fun. It was cute and short and cool because it was like sci-fi-y a little bit, but not really that much. Like they didn't really get into like the logistics of that part, but it still was part of the story. So anyway, that wraps up this video. In this video I read 3 books. I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which I really enjoyed. I think I rated that like a 4.25. I read The Rose Code, which I loved, and I rated that one 5 stars. And then I just read that book, Signal Moon, which I think I'm gonna rate like 3.75, maybe even 4. It was really good. It was just like a very short story, so I feel like I can't rate those 5 stars. I probably could. I just like, I feel like there's not enough for me to go off of. But anyway, let me know if you want me to do another video like this. If you have some Kindle Unlimited recommendations, leave them down below for me. I definitely have some more books in my Kindle Unlimited library. I have a couple more months before my free trial expires, and then I'm going to decide if I want to keep it, because if I'm not actually reading those books, it may not be worth it. But there are lots of good books on Kindle Unlimited, so it's fun to have, and it was fun to read these books this week. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the last few days of Bookmas, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.